What's good, everybody? It's Mohammed, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. But before we start that, guys, of course, go ahead and subscribe. Check out my channel. I'm going to be uploading a lot more consistently, and I got some crazy up-to-date meta decks, combo tutorials, or even rogue decks, or even Master Duel content. Whatever you guys want to see, let me know. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so now we are going to be starting off with the first of, I believe, 3 combos I have set up for my Onomat Ryzeal deck. Now, these are basically the quote-unquote standard combos of the deck. Now, I can show other combos if you guys want. Just please comment down below on the YouTube video. You can hit me on Facebook and Discord as well, but YouTube is kind of the most consistent I'll be. But without further ado, guys, let's start off. So again, we use Dodododo Warrior. Warrior's effect is activate it and then dump as cost. So you dump any of the monsters as cost. So any of the Dododo monsters from your deck to your graveyard, especially on this card, it becomes a 4. Cool. So we usually send out our Dododo glove. Now there's multiple reasons. The main reason why I prefer to send glove is because you can't get Bish shields on the first activation, where if you go warrior, dump the Kage, they can Bish shield the Kage, and that'll hurt really, really bad, because we also want Kage both effect instead of this effect, right? So it's pretty good. And then on top of that, it just is a level 4, so it's really good on that regard. So we go ahead and summon warrior, then we use glove to go ahead and summon himself out over here, and then from here we can go ahead and overlay into our XYZ monster, which is going to be the Banshee. Now again, any monster here can work depending on your hand. This deck isn't a one-card combo deck, it's a multi-card combo, because it can play through a lot of hand traps, especially Droll, which a combo I will show you at the end, and that's why I'm very high on this deck. But again, we can make any rank 4 here that kind of will net us pluses, because any card we detach off Dododo Warrior, you can add a Zubaba, so if you open the Goblindberg and things of that nature. So from here we use Banshee. Depending on what you have, if you already have access to, let's say, X, or let's say Ice, or some weird other Pyro monster, you can go ahead and add yourself the flag for either follow-up or locking our opponent out. From here we can go ahead and use Banshee. Banshee effect will go ahead and add us our extra Ryzeal, so it's pretty good here. Again, if you want to respect Droll, because we have not normal summoned, the best thing we can do actually is to go ahead and proceed to add our Ice, because if you get Drolled on this res, Dododo Warrior cannot trigger, because it'll be Chain Link 1 Dododo Warrior, Chain Link 2 Droll, and that will hurt a lot. But because we still have normal summon, we can go normal Ice, get star, kind of go ahead and get cross, overlay into our detonator, and then attach. So it's not that bad in that regard. But just for combo sake, this is kind of the bread and butter or not post, sorry, if we don't get interrupted. So we add X is the best add here. And we can go ahead and use Warrior. Warrior is going to add us our Zubaba. Now, in this specific combo, because we have not normal summon, Zubaba becomes a normal summon, the coat. But if we have used our normal summon, you guys will see kind of how that line plays out. But from here, we go ahead and summon X. X dump dual drive. You can choose to dump other things, but just in my combo specifically, I realized that Nib was actually hurting me very, very bad. Even just the threat of Nib was just kind of too much for me to bear. So I just wanted to play the second dual drive, because a lot of the games, when you get into the grind game, trust me, you're going to want that second dual drive, and you're going to want to rely on your Ryzeal engine, because the Dododo engine is very good to push through boards and kind of force stuff, but then you want the Ryzeal engine to kind of really punch really hard. So from here we go X. Again, X dump dual drive. X will go ahead and search. You always get sword if you're in this situation. If you're not in this situation, already have sword, be my guest, you can go ahead and add node Ryzeal if you want. From here we go ahead and we add sword. We can special summon sword out here, because we have a Ryzeal monster in our field and or graveyard. This will go ahead and add us our star, which is basically going to be here. You can add Ice again depending on what your hand is. So from here we use star. Star can go ahead and detach the glove to summon out star. Now star will go ahead and activate our cross. Here our opponent can nib us. Usually they won't nib us here. In this specific board instance, they'll kind of wait to see what the play is, especially if it's game 1. But sometimes you do get nibbed here. It's not that bad. We can still go ahead and normal summon Coat. Coat can reborn the glove, and we can still make a dual drive and keep playing from there. So it's not the worst. It's just that for combo's sake, this is what you would do. So you activate cross. Now you can overlay 2. Keeping the 4 is very important here, because you need the extra 4. Go dual drive, attach the other dual drive. Now we can successfully use dual drive's effect and still resolve cross by negating like a nib or a 5 mana, something problematic, you know what I mean? So from here, guys, what we can do is we can go ahead and detach the 2 materials into our X and our dual drive. It doesn't really matter what the materials are. I like to detach X, because then I can shuffle it back later on, so I still have kind of recursion for X and even star, because it's a 1-of. But you always add Ice and you always add node, because these are the effects we have not used yet. Now again, you can still normal summon the Ice if you want. It's just that it doesn't net you anything in regards, whereas this will. So from here you can go ahead, and now we can go ahead and normal our Coat. Now Coat's effect can activate to go ahead and target to reborn. Again, it's very important, do not target your Dododo Warrior, because Warrior will be a 6 unless you're playing Onomat Apera. Then it's not that bad, because you can target 2 and make him a 4 or 6. It's not that bad. One thing to note though is, as soon as you start playing with Ryzeals, you're rank 4 locked. It's very important. I'll explain a little bit later on. So from here we can go ahead and reborn out our glove. And then from here, we can go ahead and send away into our ice. And now we are not only protected by any monster effect, we have 4 XYZs, which lets you go, XYZ materials, which lets you go into our Prime Mathematic Alimbertion. Alimbertion says on summon, you can detach 2 to 4, and then you gain these effects depending. So if you detach 2, add a Mathematics. So if you want to play Mathematics, you absolutely can. You can add a level 4 monster from deck to your hand by attaching 3. So this is what I was saying in my deck profile. If you guys haven't seen it somewhere over here, whatever, you can go ahead and add this, our Retaliating Sea. If you have any other level 4 monster that's pretty good, you can go ahead and add that as well. And then this can add any spell trap card from your deck to your hand. So usually in this combo, like I said, post interruption, you add yourself a Harpy's Featherstorm. Now this is basically a turn 1 combo. The reason why I'm saying turn 1, game 1 especially, is because we don't know what our opponents are on. Once we know what they're on, again, this can change into some sort of Escados line where you can go ahead and set up things, and I think that's very important to understand as well. But in this regard, you can go ahead and add us our Featherstorm, summon out the node. Now you can use node to send to discard. It doesn't matter what you reborn here. If they've already nibbed and we've negated it, you kind of want to target one of the fires, so you want to detach like the sword in that regard. So I guess that could have been done a little better, but for the most part, it's fine. It doesn't really matter, because our opponent won't have Nib and Bestials in the same deck. I mean, technically they won't. So from here, we can go ahead and overlay into our Castel. So Castel is really good because, again, it works with Harpy's Featherstorm, of course, but Castel also is unique because he actually has a relevant effect. It did come up in one of my games where I forgot to spin back the Nib because I forgot this card is actually good, but yeah, for some reason I thought I needed like materials for this card to work, but I completely forgot. But yeah, so we make our Castel here, and then we can go ahead and draw one with our Ryzeal Cross. Doesn't really matter what we draw because every card is live. So like I said before, Dododo Warrior is still live because this card can come back from the graveyard. Sorry, this card can come back from the graveyard. This card can send a Kage, so you have 3 mats already. Depending on what we draw on top of that, we have Featherstorm to stop our opponent hand effects and monster effects. So it's very, very important in that regard. So that's basically it for the bread and butter, I guess you can say, Dododo Warrior combo. Now let's get on to the second combo. All right, guys, now we are getting on to the second combo, and this, in my opinion, is the better combo. This is the reason why I'm playing 3 Goblindberg in my list, and this is the reason why a lot of people aren't really on 3 Goblindberg, and I don't know why. I really think that this is the best combo of the deck. You want to max out the best combo in any of deck I've played. You want to max out on the best 1-card combos in your deck, and Goblindberg is the single-handedly best 1-card combo of the deck. So I believe going forward, you need to play 3 of this card, guys. Trust me when I say that. You have to, and you guys will see here, okay? So from here, we can go ahead and normal summon our Goblindberg. Goblindberg, again, on summon, you summon a non-warrior Gogogo monster, okay? Here, we can go ahead and summon out the Kage. Now we have no threat of getting Bishop, so it's pretty good in that regard. From here, guys, of course, he goes to defense. And then we can go ahead and overlay our 2 monsters away into our Banshee. Again, we have used our normal summon. Doesn't really matter. So from here, we can go ahead and use Banshee. Banshee can go ahead and attach the Goblindberg to go ahead and add us our X. And then from here, Goblindberg will go ahead and trigger to add us our Dododo monster, right? So here, you guys can see all sorts of material we already have, man. It's actually crazy. Then from here, we can go ahead and special summon X. So again, because we have the same lineup, you basically want to send them. I did mess up one thing in the combo. I'll tell you guys right now is that Banshee is usually in the main monster zone in this combo because you really need to get rid of it to summon it. And you guys will see later on. So I summon Sword. Sword goes ahead to grab us our Star Ryzeal. Now we can go ahead and summon Star by detaching the Banshee to go ahead and summon itself out. Use Star's effect to go ahead and set in place here, and then we can go ahead again, the exact same thing, we overlay into the dual drive, add the dual drive back. From here, we can go ahead and detach to go ahead and add us our ice and our node. So again, very similar, but specifically in this instance, this is where it changes, and you guys will see, I think it's here where I make the note. Yeah, so you want to switch it, and you always want to make sure duo is in the extra monster zone, specifically for this line. For this line, it's very important because we need all of our extra monster zone. You guys will see it gets a little weird. So from here, we can go ahead and summon Dododo Warrior by dumping our glove. So now we have all of our monsters. So we have the Kage, who hasn't been reborn. Remember that Kage was summoned off of Goblindberg, so now you can summon again, and then glove as well is very important. So from here, we can go ahead and we can proceed to special summon out our glove because we have a Gogo and Dododo monster. So we have Dododo Warrior, very important. Then from here, we can go ahead and send our monster away into Ice Ryzeal. So this, what I was saying, is very important. We need the ratios, and you guys will see right here exactly why, right? So we can use Kage here as well. We summon the monsters out. You're probably asking, Hamza, why did we bring it out? Trust me, I'll tell you. Whoops. Trust me, I'll tell you. So basically from here, we can go ahead and we can overlay our 4 materials off into our Alimbertion. Alimbertion, again, detach 4 to go ahead and add any spell trap. Can be anything if you guys want. You want to talent strip an opponent's hand. It's pretty good as well. But from here, you guys need to know, we have detached a Dododo Warrior, meaning we can add a Zubaba. So from here, we can go ahead and use Warrior to add us our Coat. Now, Coat says if you control Zubaba or Gogogo monster, while this card in your hand, special summon it. The reason why we want to summon out Kage now is Kage counts as any of the Onomat cards so it's very important. Whereas like if we use any of these other cards, it might end up biting us in the butt. So that's why I'm saying we don't really have a lot of Gaga cards other than the XYZ monster, I believe. So pretty important. So from here we can special summon our coat. From here we can use coat. Again, make sure you target your 4s, do not target your 6. Whatever you do not target your 6. We go ahead and summon our Goblindberg, overlay these 2 monsters away into our Castel. So now we have our Featherstorm lineup, and then from here we can go ahead and overlay 2 monsters into our Eclipse Twins, special summon out the node. Now we can go ahead and node send to reborn our Star Ryzeal, and then twins will trigger here. So usually if you have a 4, like a 4 and I guess you can say like a rank 4 who's already uses this effect, and then a level 4, you always want to make twins with a node or an ice, because that basically nets you some form of detonator setup with the twins already in graveyard. So in these lines specifically, we're not using twins to kind of abuse it how we did with Ouroboros previously. Now we're using twins to set up detonator follow, which is very, very important. So from here we can go ahead and overlay our 2 monsters away into our detonator, and detonator go ahead and grab us our twins. In these instances, honestly, it doesn't really matter what we reborn. Honestly, the reason why you get twins engrave is because you want to be able to get it under detonator. It doesn't matter what we reborn here, but Banshee is kind of nice because if we haven't grabbed flag, we can grab flag next turn during like turn 3, because our opponent's going to try and outcast Stealth first, and we use detonator to just protect our entire board. But you guys saw in the other scenario where we already kind of had Alimbertion, that's 5 monsters on board, right? That's kind of crazy, especially because one of the monsters we detach will add us our coat to get 6 monsters. So that's 3 XYZs, meaning we can still get to flag setup and all that sort of thing as well. So game 3, again, I highly recommend to be going onto flag and Escados. Especially when you go second though, game 1 is really important. So again, we can go ahead and use our cross to draw us a card, a thrust. It's pretty good if our opponent hand trapped us. If they didn't, sucks to suck, but it doesn't matter. So again, like I said before, guys, Dododo Warrior before ended us on a Castel with a dual drive and a Heartbeat Featherstorm and a draw, I guess, but Goblindberg ended us on all this. So why would we not play 3 Goblindberg and 3 Dododo Warrior? Because now I have all sorts of combos that I can get into, especially because Gogogo Girl is an FTK by herself as well, guys. So trust me when I say it, you guys need to be on 3 Goblindberg. But let's move on to the 3rd combo. Alright guys, so now we're getting on to the 3rd combo. Now again, the 3rd combo is kind of what I was saying, why how Onomatopera technically beats Droll. You guys will see here in this combo specifically. If you guys want any other sort of unique and niche interactions, you guys can do this. Now I was doing this pre-ban list as well with the pre-emergency ban, and it was nasty because I was doing Ouroboros and all sorts of nasty shenanigans, but I am doing the same thing here as well, guys. So again, if you guys are enjoying the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Again, I'm going to be a lot more consistent, and trust me guys, when I say this, it's going to be crazy. But from here, we start off with the combo. We can go ahead and use Onomatopera. Para goes ahead and pitches to go ahead and add us 2, and not 2 from the same category again, so 1 of each. So 1 Gaga, 1 Dododo, 1 Gogo, whatever. So we use Para, pitch to add us our Goblindberg and to add us our Dododo Warrior. Now our opponent will draw and lockboard us here. That's perfectly fine. So what we can do here is we can go ahead and summon Dododo Warrior by dumping out our Glove, again, play around the Bestials, and then Glove can go ahead and summon out later on, but right now what we'll do is we'll normal Goblindberg summon out the Kage, and then we can go ahead and summon out our Glove. So from here, we have 4 monsters on board, so you're like, okay, we have 4 monsters on board, our opponent has 4 cards in hand. It's pretty good. But here what we can do is we can go ahead and overlay our 3 monsters into our Laplacian. Laplacian says, if this card's actually summon, same thing as Prime Alimbertion, detach up to 3 materials, and then you get these effects. So send 1 random card from opponent's hand to the graveyard, send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, send 1 spell and trap your opponent controls to the graveyard. So it's very good going second. I was FTKing with this card a lot, but we summon Laplacian's effect. Go ahead and make sure you detach the Kage here. So we go ahead and go Laplacian, detach Kage, rip cards. So now they're down to 3 cards, okay? Now the reason I want to detach Kage is because we summoned Kage off of Goblindberg. We have not used the reborn effect, and we control Dododo monsters. So again, if you control any of them, it can reborn, right? So we use Kage here. Kage's effect to go ahead and summon itself out. And now again, because this is a 4, because it was summoned from hand, and we have another 4 on board, we go ahead and we overlay into Eclipse Twins. Now this is also pretty good, right? And the reason why is you guys will see what I'm about to overlay into next. From here, we can go ahead and overlay our 2 4s into our FTK card, which is going to be Utopic Future Zexal. Now, this card is very important. You guys will see why, okay? So the number 1 thing is this card's original rank is always 1. Gains attack equal to the combined ranks of all XYZ monsters your opponent controls and in your opponent's graveyard. Sorry, you control and in your opponent's graveyard. So if it's a mirror match or whatever, you feel me, or against K9, it's pretty good, right? So from here, this card is always at 500, 500. Your opponent cannot target monsters for attacks except this one, so it's a magnet. Also, your opponent cannot target other cards on the field with card effects, okay? That means other card effects. Like I said in my deck profile, they cannot Yummy Surprise. On top of that, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, detach 1 material from this card, take control of 1 monster your opponent controls Also, for this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. So not only is it a magnet and they must attack, when your opponent activates a card effect on the field, you can chain to detach to steal a monster your opponent controls forever. On top of that as well, I don't know if this card is a once per turn, honestly. Gains attack, blah, blah, whatever. Once per turn. So it's a soft once per turn, right? So you guys can see here. The reason why I'm saying it's a soft once per turn, and that's important, as you guys will see here, Eclipse Twins has a pretty unique effect, right? Eclipse Twins specifically says this. So let's say we also have other monsters on board, right? If all these get sent to the graveyard, it can reborn, right? It says this. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target 2 other rank 4 or lower XYZ monsters in your graveyard, summon 1, attach the other. Meaning that if you look at Eclipse Twins, okay, this is a level 4 rank 4 monster, whatever, and now this is a rank 1 monster, meaning it's kind of like how Totally Awesome, right? When we use Zexal, we detach Laplacian, we steal a monster. Our opponent outs our monster, Eclipse Twins triggers, summons this, summons back, and if I'm not mistaken, this is a soft ones, meaning it can steal again. Pretty nasty. Like I said before, guys, that's the combo post-roll. If you guys want to see other kind of unique combos, other decks, let me know. I know the YCS just ended, so if you guys want to do a review on that, I can also do that as well. A quick little summary, a short, whatever you guys want to do. Again, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to take over the Yugituber space for like the 6th time. I keep saying that. I'm going to be a lot more consistent. My name's Hamza, and like I always say, keep on shining, never go on your dreams. Peace.